Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey. What's happening? It's Podcast Wednesday. Happy May 1st. Welcome to May, y'all. Welcome. Welcome in. Welcome to the month of May. We got a really good show for y'all today. And I say that about all the shows, don't I? I probably do. But hey, I'm just being honest. But we do. We got a really good show for y'all today, and it's going to be something that either a reflection of what you already know and you just getting a reminder of it, or it may be something new to you. So I just want to at least put that out there for you. All right. All right. So the topic of the show is letting go and what to do and why. All right. But before to the off with the quote. And the quote today is: some people believe holding on and hanging in there are signs of great strength. However, there are times when it takes much more strength to know when to let go than to do it. So, we know that it's easier to say I want to stop doing something, or I want to leave, or I want to do this or don't do that. We know it's easier to say those things, but it's harder to kind of like put certain things into action when you feel a great deal of attachment to a certain thing. So with that being said, attachment alone makes it tough to say I can let go. I can be, this is defeating me. I need to step back. Detachment alone will take away that trajectory. What's up, E? What's going on? But so you gotta, when you're thinking about letting something just be, you have to take in consideration of the fact that it's not going to be an easy task. There may be some things that make you feel like you need to not do it and go back or repeat the same offense or whatever. Just remember that there are other reasons why you did this, not just for the reason that you need to let go of the situation, but also for the reason that it has to happen. Certain things must come to an end. All right. Okay. All right. So we're going to say the quote again, one more time. Some people believe holding on and hanging in there are signs of great strength. However, there are times when it takes much more strength to know when to let go than do it. You know when to let go. You know that you need to. The action is the thing that requires you to step out of bounds when you don't want to do it. The action of that whole situation. All right. You can't, it's not gonna always be easy. It's not gonna always be something that you could just be like, it just roll off your tongue and it's dead. Nah, it's not always like that. So you got to know when you're ready to do it, but you also got to be in preparation to do something like that. All right. You got to be ready for it. You got to. Yes, B. That action definitely is hard. It's the action of feeling defeated. And I think a lot of times we don't want to let go because we don't want to feel like we gave up, we quit, and it defeated us. And sometimes defeat isn't bad. All right. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes defeat is okay. Whew. It's tough, but it's valid. It's valid. Letting go is a spiritual and or psychological process that requires relinquishing or lessening our attachment to outcomes, desires, um, and expectations, and accepting what is. You're not a bad person if you're finding it difficult to let go or even to forgive someone who hurt you. You're human. As humans, we're pre-programmed to avoid danger or anyone who has proven untrustworthy. We are programmed to remember negative experiences so that we can prevent them. If you're trapped in a place that won't allow you to escape the suffering, it's time to decide to let go. All right? It's time to decide to let go. It's time, say it with me. Type it with me. It's time to whatever. It's time to decide. If you feel trapped, that's either whether it's in a job, in an action, in a person, in a sequence, in any type of event that's causing you wreckage or anything like that. What's up, sis? Anything that's going on. Thank you, bro. About the cute hair comment. Please listen in today. We're gonna have some key pointers for you. We got it. We got some key pointers for you today. It's going because you gotta know. You gotta know. So I got some things I want to say. Anytime I give a reason to let go, y'all gotta type fuck it because the objective of the show today is to know when to let go. And I'm gonna give you things that are going to be whether or not you're supposed to either how you let go and reasons why. A list of reasons to let go. And after I give the reason, I'm gonna need y'all to type fuck it. I'm gonna need y'all to say it out loud, however y'all want to do it, because these are certain. It don't have to be something that you letting the world know you may have experienced, but these things that we're going to talk about today and reasons for letting go. People have a very hard time doing. They have a very hard time utilizing these techniques when they're trying to let go. So we're gonna kind of discuss those a little bit today. And when we choose not to follow the path of letting go, it's like deciding to carry a heavy rock around with us, weighing ourselves down. We don't know what to do with the rock. We keep carrying it around. Even if others explain to us the benefit of throwing away the rock, we're still afraid to let it go. We've been carrying it for so long that it becomes a part of us. And when we continue to carry it until we get weak and tired that we have no choice but to let it go. Oh, only then can we finally feel at peace and recognize how physically and mentally of a heavy burden that was. Letting go of negative feelings and pain invites peace and release of unresolved emotional turmoil. And that's what we have to do. We have to let go of these things that are causing so much weight to be sitting on our shoulders. A lot of y'all right now walk around with big shoulders because of other stuff that people doing. Hey, Queen, because of other things that other people are doing. Because you carry other people's weight. You can't. All right. So I want, before we jump into the discussion, I got a couple things that I wanted to ask. So checking in on everybody, I wanted to ask, on the scale of 1 to 10, how's everybody doing energy wise? Throw it out there. Type that in quickly. How's everybody doing energy wise out of 1 and 10? 1 through 10. How's your energy looking? I want to know about that real quick. While you're thinking about that, E says his is a 6. We're gonna get that up a little bit. Dawn says hers is a 7. Oh, we got Latoya saying hers is an 8.5. B says hers is a 7. Okay, we're gonna, those aren't low energy levels. Anything a little bit above a 5, we're good. We're very good. So good. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see such a good mental headspace. But we want to get it to a point where we can clear some of that. Okay, let go of some of that cloudiness that's causing it to not be a 8 or a 9. Tell me one thing that y'all looking forward to this week. One thing that you're looking forward to this week. This is just, we're gonna do a little bit of a release before we get into this letting go conversation. One thing you're looking forward to this week. Type that in for me real quick while I get to the next icebreaker question. And I also want to know why you're thinking about one thing you're looking forward to this week. She says Friday. Of course, god damn it. We looking forward to Friday. If your day had a theme song, what would that theme song be? That's our next one. If your day had a theme song, what would it be? That should be a good thought one right there when for most of us. If your day had a theme song, he said he's looking forward to seeing his daughter and 2 photo shoots. Okay. I know that's right. Get it in. Get it in. And Nitra says free time. And she's at a 7. Good. Okay, Nitra, I love that. Even with a child younger than 1, she's still at a 7. Baby, that's big. Don, your theme song would be free. If your day had a theme song, what would it be? We got somebody saying it's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. Okay. It's the first of the month. That's right. He says his theme song would be Black Hole Sun. Now, you gotta can you send me a snippet of that? Because I don't know that song. I don't know that song, E. When you send stuff that I don't know, you're supposed to send a little bit of lyrics to go with it. Now send the lyrics. God darn it. Looking forward to catching up on my shows this week. That's right. Me time, some personal time. Every day I'm hustling. Yes, that's what it is. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. What's this? I'm on my whiteboard today. Oh, that's a whiteboard song. So you can't send them lyrics, huh? Okay. That's fine. All right. So now that I've loosened you all up a little bit before we jump into the topic, because that's what I wanted to do, was make sure y'all was a little bit relaxed before we jumped into the show. Because letting go is hard. Letting go is not very, very easy, y'all. And I think let's see, Wipe Me Down, all about the beat, and she's at a 8 today. That's right, Queen. 8s. I like to see them 8s. I like to know that energy up there good today. Wipe Me Down. I was sitting up here thinking about, was that Fox that started off the song Wipe Me Down? That was Fox, wasn't it? Fox and Miller. Because Booster was second. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. There's a misconception that letting go means that whatever happened is done and removed from our lives. Letting go doesn't mean it didn't happen or allows the person who hurt you off the hook. It certainly did happen, and that person is accountable. We are aware, accepting, and conscious of what happened, and we deeply understand the facts and effects of what took place. Though it no longer stings like it used to, instead of wishing it didn't happen, we don't fight against it. We acknowledge its presence, and we let it be how it unfolded. And it's super important sometimes to just let things happen. Like, we always want to be in control of the outcome. We always want to be in control of how things are going to be and what needs to be said and all of that. You can't even predict a conversation. You can't even decide how it's going to go. It's impossible. So while you're thinking about the narrative of what's going to happen in that time, in that space, just think about what you're going there for, what you want the conversation, what you want from the conversation. But do not go into a conversation with expectations high enough to the point where you forget who you're dealing with when you're in the conversation. You forget what you're dealing with. Don't go in changing the narrative, because you already know what time it is. You're just there to voice your opinion and get certain things off of your chest because you're ready to let go. That's why people will tell you sometimes you got to let go on your own and not do it with the other person because they may not be willing. But that makes it a little bit different because a lot of people like closure. I haven't gotten to the point in my life when closure is not needed. And that's only for certain things. It's not for everything. You can't just not have closure with everything. you gotta have closure with certain things now. You can't just shut off the world. You can't just like have a whole falling out with your child and just be like, I ain't going to talk to her no more. No, we can't do that. We too old for that. We know people are valuable. We do know that. You gotta lose to win again. And you do. And you do. It's important to see that too sometimes instead of being so stuck on what you want things to be. All right. So we grow the most when we are challenged. In psychological terms, letting go is related to concepts such as acceptance, forgiveness, self compassion, psychological flexibility, and gratitude. And because you got to be thankful for what you went through and what you did, because a lot of just because you feel like you're the most hurt doesn't mean you are. And also, just because you feel like you may have put in the most in the relationship, that may be true, but that doesn't mean that you have to try to hold on to something so tight because you feel like you've done the most. That was your investment at the time. You took the opportunity to invest. That was the risk you took. Love is a risk. It may be an action, but it is a risk. It's not something that everybody's willing to bet on. So you got to be willing to know that certain things are going to happen in this situation that you may not think should happen. And again, albeit work related, job related, family related, friend related, whatever it is that comes to the point where you have to let it go. You're gonna have to think of ways to work through it, but we're gonna help with that too. But I'm just letting you know that there are times that you're gonna have to sit and examine yourself and think about what it is that you can do differently, because a lot of times we will play like or sit and act like we didn't have nothing to do with this whole situation going away. Nothing. Accountability hard for a lot of people. That's why letting go be so tough, because you don't want to be accountable for what it is you may have to let go, because you did take that opportunity. You kept going on that opportunity. Like you knew in 6 months something that you didn't have to deal with for 5 years. But you knew it 6 months in, 5 months in, 4 months in, 3 months in, you knew it. But you went 5 years and now you sitting up there like, So the object of when we're going through this, I think I said it earlier. If you didn't, if some the ones that are just joining us, the object of today, what's up, homie? The birthday boy, what's going on? Another a smashing day around the sun. um, but just because you feel the most hurt doesn't mean that that person ain't going through their own thing too. All right, so ways to release and let go. When I give these descriptions, I need y'all to come in after those descriptions. If you agree, and you're going to say, fuck it. If you don't agree, you're going to say, love it. Now, and the reason why it's going to be a separation of those is because some of us still may be going through it. We may not know how to accept that form of letting go. We may not. If you don't, love it. I just want you to pay attention to why I said it though. You know, that's all. All right, we're gonna jump on into it. Number one, understand that the relationships you thought you'd have are going to be different than the ones that you actually have. So we must accept the person we are in the moment and the way other people are too. As time goes on, we continue to learn that things don't go as planned. Actually, they pretty much never do, and that's okay. If you become aware of yourself and your part of your relationship, that will improve. However, you may also have to accept the fact about certain people in your life. This may be at a point in time that what you thought you knew, you didn't know. And when you see it, have the conversation about whether or not it's something you want to do and continue forward. And if you decide to stay and you still see the same pattern, then you got to walk away from that. Because I'm not saying when you say let them go, it's not worth giving it a chance. You got to you give certain things a chance. But if a lie it slaps you dead in your face, that's a lie. Point blank. Period. If they lie about something real great, a huge, because to me it ain't no certain thing. Small lies be like I just can't even do it. I can't even make believe. Like a small lie don't matter to me. Lies is lies. But what you have to know that if somebody shows you who they are, it may not change. So if you take the opportunity to stay and see if it's going to change and you continue to further see that it's not, you better haul ass. You better haul ass. I don't know how many more other signs you might need, but it says right there, clear as gold. Number one, this is number one on the list. Actually, understand that the relationships you thought you had are going to be different from the ones that you actually have. Because when you see something for what it is, friendship, relationship, jobship, whatever, it is what it is. If you want to keep putting these make believe fairy tales in your mindset, then that's on you. But if you see what it is, pay attention. Start looking for a way to go a different route. Stop lying to yourself is the first thing. Exactly. Don't. It's important to know. It's important to know that the vision that you have for something and that's another reason why I don't have expectations for people. I take you for face value. If you show me this, that's what I believe. I'm not gonna let you show me this and then you turn around the next 2 days and be like, I don't do that, but I just seen you do that. I just seen it. Dead right here, dead in my face. And now you don't do that when you that was it. That was that night ended it. I don't know. Don't be invested in the outcome when it comes to dealing with people because it often leads to disappointment. Yikes. That's number two. Expectation. I just said this personally about me because I'm very big on not having expectations in people. The only person that I know that's going to do what they're expected to do is Shelby because I'm Shelby and I live as Shelby. I know what Shelby's going to do. Have no expectations for anybody else, not my children, not my mama, not my siblings, not my man, not nobody. No expectations. None. 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 Expectations have a way of keeping us stuck because they lead us to fear certain outcomes. There are no guarantees in life, and there's nothing we can really do to get outcomes where we desire when dealing with others. When our expectations and needs are not met, we need to respond rationally and appropriately. Sometimes this means setting respectful boundaries, other times it means letting go. That's why you don't walk in with a room full of expectations. You just can't do it. If you do, just know there's a possibility that those expectations will not get met. And then that might lead you to keep getting let down. And then now you mad because you keep getting let down. But these people showed you that you have no reason to have any expectations in them. They've already showed you that, and you still doing it. So that's really on you. That's really on you. Number three, don't live in chains when you have the key. We live with self-limiting beliefs that we let define who we are. Ooh, that gave me a little bit of tremble a little bit. Don't live in chains when you have the key. Baby, you in bondage and you got the key. What? The fear. The fear. We think I could never do that. I could never make that happen. If you truly believe that, you'll never accomplish your goals. Open up your mind and believe in yourself. There will be many people who tell you that you can't do it. It's up to you to prove them wrong. And it really is really just proving you wrong. Just knowing that you can face certain dilemmas. But don't live in no bondage when you got the key, baby. You got to get out of that. Number 4, let go of the idea that you can control others' actions. We really only have control over ourselves and how we act. And sometimes when you get in certain emotional situations, you damn near can't control how you about to act. Let something happen. Let something come up to where you just don't walk up. Because I seen a video there on TikTok where this lady tracked her man to a hotel. She tracked her man to a hotel and went to knock on the door, whatever, and went on in the hotel room. Truth, you can't be let down if you don't expect it. So I'm telling you, it's one of the best feelings in the world not to have expectations, only of yourself. You know, people are gonna love you. Love is a different. That's the actual word that they show you, and they do the things that they're supposed to show you they love you. But certain expectations, just don't put them out there. It leads you to be let down. But this lady popped up at the hotel. Then the video went off when when they opened up the door and she got in. We don't know what happened, but the point is that you went over there. You went over there and to do something, and you ain't got no control over this man. As you don't know what's gonna happen on the other side of that situation. You really only got control over how you act. You think if I do for everybody and everything, they'll treat me. They'll never do something to me wrong. They'll never harm me. They'll never hurt me. You that alone. Some people in your life for manipulative reasons, and it's real sad and curt for you to not notice these things, or for you to be blinded by the fact that this is happening to you. But this is an everyday occurrence. People sit up under you with ill intentions. You got to start seeing what's best for you. You got to start paying attention to what's best for you, because you don't want to be the object of someone else's ridicule when it comes to you not being alert. That's going back to not lying to yourself. Of course, everything comes down to being honest with who you are. It's just a lot. You don't want to put yourself in a situation as to where you saying that this ain't gonna happen. I know what he gonna do. I know what she gonna do. I know what they gonna do. I know what's gonna happen. You betting on who you betting on? Who you betting on? You ain't even betting on yourself. You betting on everybody else but you. Definitely because you betting on everybody else but you. You gotta know that who you are and what you're gonna do should matter first. You're only gonna be in control of how you respond. All right. When it comes down to the decision of letting go, only worry about what you think of yourself. You can't worry about what anybody else thinks of you. You can't worry about what the outcome of the situation is going to be. You can't think about any of those things. You only can worry about what you think of you. Because when you're freeing yourself from being controlled by what other people think, you start to prioritize how you feel about yourself, and instead of always caring what somebody else thinks, because thinking about what somebody else thinks is what led you to that bondage anyway. It's what led you to the bondage. I believe at some point everyone will do for themselves and not for you. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm never surprised when someone does some selfish. Oh no, I'm never surprised. But I think that in certain situations that you're thinking that if this is someone that I trust, they'll let me know that, hey, I can't, I thought I was gonna be able to do this, do that. I'm not gonna be able to do that, but I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Some type of form of communication or something to let me know that this was something our at least our relationship or our communication or whatever we got going on is real, because you're telling me this, you're letting me know, not just holding back from me and being selfish. Leave room for mistakes. That's number 6. Did you make a mistake or say something stupid? It's okay. Use the experience to learn and make a joke, and it doesn't make you stupid to say something wrong or silly. It makes you human, and sometimes even funny. And that just means that even in the scenario of you guys having a situation where y'all talking about something and you end up saying something that they don't understand, or something you trying to make a joke about to add some humor to the situation, and you see that the elephant in the room ain't working. You can't get rid of it. They want you to stay focused. Everybody ain't with all the jokes. So let your don't give yourself such a hard time for it, though. It's all it's saying. Leave room for error, leave room for mistakes. A lot of our external reactions are based on our own self-esteem, how we deal with people, our expectations, how critical we are. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. That's Ariel, that's real good. This is really good. I really like this response right here. A lot of our external reactions are based on our own self-esteem. That's why if you're a person who has high functioning self-esteem, when you're talking to somebody else, what you say to them will not be damaging, because you already high functioning with your self-esteem. So you don't have a reason to be trying to tear somebody else down. But you go talk to somebody who already struggling, and they may give you advice based on what they already going through. How we deal with people, our expectations, and how critical we are. That's really, really good right there. That's really good. I'll be hearing a lot of people actually give advice based on the current state that they're in. And you can't you're not a person who's chosen to do that if you can waver. You can't be, because when you doing something from if you giving somebody something that's supposed to be helping them, you cannot base that upon what you going through. The objective is not to damage and to see everybody going through the same shit. The objective is to see people rich, happy, and whole. That's the reason why you're trying to let go of certain situations, because you're trying to get back to that healthy, happy, whole person. You can't stay locked into nothing that is going to bring you down. The word no is very important, saying and being able to receive the word no. And there's a lot of people who can't receive it, and there's a lot of people who don't know how to give it. It's a lot of both of those. It's a lot of both of those. Because then the ones who don't know how to give it are more than likely people pleasers. They trying to do stuff all the time to make the next person happy. Nah. Nah. The word no is very important, though. It's a boundary. You can't be afraid to have boundaries. You just can't. Accept the things you cannot change is number 7. I don't even got to go through that one, because every day the weather say it may be one way and the other thing, and you get out there and you realize it's not. That's something you can't change. You go into your job and you deal with something happening that you have no control over. That's something you can't change. You deal with people on the internet, and you think that they're gonna respond how you want them to respond, but they don't. That's something you can't change. You're not a person who has control over anything outside of your circle, your bubble. You're who you are. You're not. No, nobody is. So stop taking. So just accept the things that you cannot change. Just really focus on that without giving it so much focus. Just know that it's real. Just know that you cannot be You cannot allow other things to be a burden on your thoughts like that, and a burden on how you treat you, a burden on how you treat others. You just cannot. You really cannot. Okay. Don't take yourself too seriously. This will allow you to relax and enjoy life's journey. And laugh. I laugh with myself all the time. Like, I'm big on making sure that Shelby is good. So in order to do that, that means that I have to make sure that I'm comfortable with me in situations that I have to deal with, whatever it is that I'm going through. I cannot allow what I'm going through to be the face of who I am. I can't allow that. If I allow the things that I'm going through to be the face of my burdens and the face of my who I am for that day, then just know that you may get a wicked witch if you're dealing with certain things. You can't just like you cannot, man. You gotta know how to separate what you're going through and what you do and who you are and what you got to deal with for that day. It's just so many times. It's different. It's different. This day and age is different. We always were supposed to care about other people's feelings and other people's thoughts and how you deal with them when it comes to letting go of that situation. But when you're dealing with it, when you're actually in the midst of it, don't be in there like, I gotta stay fast on this. Let your emotions be seen. In the midst of telling a person why it is you gotta let them go and not deal with them no more, let your emotions be heard. Be real. That's a lot of the reason why a lot of things don't go the way they're supposed to go, because y'all been hiding behind a mask. A person hasn't been able to see the real you. They've been seeing this replication of what you think that you are. Y'all living in third person. But when you take that mask off, you are full of emotion. You are full of human being shit. So you're going to have to be yourself. Do what scares you. Fear holds us back from doing a lot of things because it closes our minds to possibilities for our future. When you're going to face somebody about what's bothering you, when you're dealing with anything that is harming or changing who you are as a person, how long do you think that it's supposed to take you to say fuck it? How long? How long? Because there is a living in third person, my brother. I've never done the mask thing. I can't see that working for me. So I'm trying to figure out how long a mask lasts. You can't have a bad day, but you can have bad moments within a day. Ooh, yes. Not a whole bad day. Not a whole bad day. When you wake up in the morning, you feel that pain, you shake it off a little bit, you can go back. Yeah. You go back. Now you gotta go to work, you gotta go deal with this. You fix that. Like, and not, but in the midst of it, you are allowed to have your bad vibes and your anger, because you're human. But long as you don't allow it to constrict you from being the best version of you. That's it. No, you're never to be told that your emotions don't matter. But when you're dealing with the people who you got to deal with when this situation is going as rampant as it's going, you still have to face it. You got to do what scares you. You got to be that person that goes out and fix the situation based on what you need to do to fix the situation. You don't get caught up in the whole thought of I'm I don't want to say this because I'm worried about the backlash. I'm worried about the outcome of it. Nah. See, that's the problem. I always look at other people feeling in life and never thought about myself. And at some point, you got to put you first. That whole cycle of putting everybody else before you has to come to an end. I think a lot of parents go through that cycle of doing it. But when they start realizing that, dang, if I can't be healthy, whole, or vibrant if I'm doing everything for everybody else besides myself, I gotta take care of me too. I got to. It's a must. You can't be afraid of the mirror. Shit, you are you serious? The majority of the people who looking in the mirror don't want to see what's in the mirror. They're afraid of it. They're afraid. You got to change and face who you are when you look in that mirror. You got to be solid as a rock with yourself when you take a look in that mirror, baby. It ain't nothing. It's no joke. It's no game. It is nothing wrong with having hard conversations, setting boundaries, and limiting your own stress by being transparent in a relationship. You owe it to yourself and them. Booyah. You owe it to yourself and them. And the hard conversations are not the once you say what needs to be said, it no longer the feeling of it's like, why was that hard to say? Why did I linger on that? That's why I said the letting go portion of this conversation ain't always about um allowing the relationship to end or the friendship to end. It's some of us are just afraid to have those hard conversations. We got into these relationships and these friendships with these masks on. Remember I said that. Now you came into it with this illusion, and now you have to take that mask off. So you got to have the hard conversations. The tough things must be done now. And because you may have to when they're removing that mask, new boundaries have to be set. We may not even have the same relationship anymore. We just may not. But the whole fact that you're willing to even have that conversation to make sure that all is well, you owe it to yourself, as she stated. You owe it to yourself. You definitely owe it to yourself. You don't want to be that person that just said, um, I'm just done with it because I have my reason, but I don't want to express it. Talk to the people. Let the person know. Have that tough conversation. Express what works for you is number 10. Find your voice and share with others what you're thinking and feeling in a rational way. And if you continue to communicate with others what works for you and doesn't work for you, nobody can say that you didn't try. Nobody, because you did that part. If you're on a regular basis, if you're the person who constantly is communicating, you're the person who's constantly making sure that that person or what's being done or what's being said is happening because you're the person who's doing that. It's cool because you're expressing what works for you, but you don't want to just be the person that's giving it your all and not being heard as well. So when you're expressing what matters to you, make sure you're honest just be honest. Communicate with them what works for you and what doesn't. If I told you that, like, I'm a person who go to bed by 10 p.m., right? But every single time you call me is 9:50 and you want to have a conversation. And your response to me is, just because this is your response to me. I called you before 10 though. But you want to talk longer than 10 minutes, don't you? So it does still interrupt you're crossing the boundaries that I have set for myself. You doing that. Regardless of what you want to say, you are crossing those boundaries that I have set for myself. And now you want me to put my boundaries to the side. That's not cool. That's not right. So have those tough conversations. Put it out there. Put it out there. There's nothing wrong with growing apart. Ooh, that's so hurtful, but yet so true. That is so true. There's nothing wrong with growing apart. Sometimes it's best. When in a lot of do y'all know that a lot of the toughest reasons why people don't want to let go is because of um forgiveness, the lack of wanting to forgive. It we shouldn't care so much about forgiving that we don't want to that we'll stay in we'll still deal with problematic situations. Whew, don't be afraid to speak up knowing everyone may not agree. Don't ever walk into a room thinking that everybody gonna think like you anyway. That's the wrong interpretation. It's the wrong interpretation. Resentment and unwillingness to forgive will keep you locked in the past and prevent you from moving forward with your life. I've seen so many people do this. I've seen so many people stay stuck in hunchback situations because they do not want to forgive and let go. That punishment be crucial. A lot of us be punishing ourselves. A lot of see what I just a lot of people don't forgive themselves. They punishing themselves. You holding on to stuff that you don't need to even be holding on to. You doing it and you're doing it too broadly. Like you doing it without people even giving an opinion based on, you know what I'm saying? You know how like you wait for somebody to agree with you with how you treating yourself. That's how you doing it. Exactly. Victim behavior. You sitting around, that's victim behavior. You doing it loudly, like who crucify themselves in public? You crucify yourself for the, and then you want people to crucify you as well. When you forgiving a situation, nobody ain't got to know that you forgave anything. Nobody don't have to know what you're dealing with when it comes down to forgiveness at all. Y'all just out here crucifying yourselves, punishing yourselves. Just the punishing yourselves, boy, I tell you. It's a whole we so used to being crucified by people that we don't even know that as a person we doing it to ourselves. Forgiveness has everything to do with you, not the other person. It's freeing. It's freeing. It's the most freeing thing in the world. You don't, that's why I said nobody has to even know that you did the forgiving. Nobody has to know that. If you're willing to forgive in silence, you can also let go in silence. Why do you have to go look for approval? Looking for approval is a problem. It's a huge problem. It really is. It really is. I think that we deemed ourselves people that have to take a lot to feel like we're being um strong. So we tell ourselves that it's okay to take this, it's okay to take that, it's okay to accept this, it's okay to accept that. We tell ourselves all these different things just so we can feel free. And your freedom don't come from somebody else. Your freedom comes from you. You say you don't went Muslim. Wanting to hold on to the anger, thinking it will help you to heal. What and not even just holding on to the anger, yes, because you don't want to. This is the thing with the anger. The anger is the part that keeps you there. The anger is the part that keeps you dealing with a situation. Because if it was really a positive thing that was keeping you there, the positive thing would be to free yourself from something that's causing you to be angry from the jump. It ain't nothing positive about saying, I'm gonna do this just because I need to, because of somebody else's happiness. And I'm sorry, we do that a lot with family, and we do it a lot even more, especially with children. We have even, like, I know for a fact that I stayed around in a situation I probably shouldn't have stayed in so long just because of kids. I knew when it was time to go, but I stayed. So there are times when we stay in situations knowing that we should be gone, and we're still there. Approval from people who can care less. Exactly. They ain't gonna do nothing but talk about it for 5 minutes, and then it's over. It'll be in the group chat for 5 minutes, then on to the next topic. If you're looking for approval, are you really forgiving? No. No, because you're asking somebody else to tell you whether or not you need to forgive anyway. Whatever. If I think, and I know in my mind that forgiving this person for what they've done to me is going to free me from something that has been holding me in chains, I want that. Even though it may have taken me a while to figure that out, I know that's what I want. The outcome that I want is for me to walk away with my peace, my happiness, my self preservation is what you need. If you don't walk away with that first, then what are you doing this for? I need $20 from somebody so I can get something to eat. I'm very hungry. D, get out of here. That anger creates hurt and is very bad for the mind, body, and spirit. The anger has you holding on too. It has you holding on to things as to why you can't even move forward. It's not worth it. You shouldn't even be like, when you're dealing with somebody that you love like that, though, especially in a relationship, you shouldn't even get to a point where that you're so angry until you don't even want to see them, speak with them, talk with them, deal with them. It shouldn't even get to that point, because y'all communication tactics are already showing you how you need to be dealing with that person. If you when what you're holding in and what you're dealing with is stuff that you're dealing with, and if you don't dispel it and put it out there so that it can be remedied, then you're gonna continue to keep dealing with it, and then or you will try to let it go without it being solved or resolved. That's especially, and I keep saying in the relationship portion form of it, because more with the letting go is more so in the relationship forms. You're trying to deal with being yourself outside of this relationship, outside of this situation. Once you've decided to forgive, sometimes the conversation doesn't even have to be had. Not worth the heaviness. It is. That's very true, sis. It's not worth the heaviness, because we already have sat back and had these conversations and these topics and these thoughts with our own selves. So as the time that went on, so did the situation. That's very true. Very true. You know you are right, because I have finally gotten to the point in my life to stop thinking about everyone else. I now think about me finally. It's good for you. Good for you. Mom. I'm glad to see that, because it took a while, because your kid's been grown a long time. But you still could be caught up in that pattern of always knowing that somebody else needs you. So you always in that giving pattern. And then it makes it hard for you not to be that person who's doing it, because you've been doing it for so long. And it's okay. Some of those things are okay. It's just, are you willing to put those things to the side so that you can have that peace, so you can get to that point of freedom? Because letting go is a form of freedom that people cannot tell you to have, or they can't even explain to you, because they've done it. They can tell you that it's freedom, but the peace and the freedom that it gives you is yours alone. You're not going to have the same peace and freedom that Ariel has, or D has, or Yamega has. You gonna have a different set of freedom because you're free from something that you've experienced. It has nothing to do what they've experienced. So as you sit back and you think about those things that are making you cling on, hold that are keeping you holding on, or keeping you clinged to a situation, a person, a time, the past, all of those things that are allowing you to keep you from manifesting what you hold so deeply that you would like to do. Today's the day that you need to decide, how much more of this should I take? How much more of this should I keep trying to deal with? Is it benefiting me? And if you know the answer to those questions right off bat, then it's time to let go. And certain things with letting go takes time to plan and to situate. Everything you can't just jump into, but you have to plan and facilitate it at some point, because your peace and your protection over the life that you lead for yourself has to be the most important thing, especially if you have children and people dependent on you. If you're not showing that you're willing to take care of you first, if you saying I'm taking care of you first, then what they gonna do? Because all they know is what you do for them. They don't know what you do for you, because that's not what you've shown them. So yeah, you're gonna have to let go at some point. All right. Let that pain, that anger, that suffering, um, that complacentness, let that comfort zone, let that rationale that it can only happen this way, this one way, let that thought process go. Let it go. Holding on to history can be detrimental, especially if it ain't good history. We get too consumed with it. We get too consumed with it. But okay, so as I told y'all today, if it's something that you needed to, I got 5 things I'm gonna put out there right now. And if it's for you to let go, type fuck it. If it's not something you ready to get rid of yet, type love it. Cause it just takes that. It's on you. It's on you. Trauma. Are you ready to let it go? Are you ready to let go of trauma? All right. That's a big one. A lot of people stuck in trauma. They stuck in the past. And she just told you that the history can be, sometimes history can be detrimental. So if you're ready to get rid of the trauma, fuck it. Let it go. All right. All right. We got it. We got one. Show of hands. Yes. Let's get rid of that trauma. Okay. All right. Past relationships. You still holding on to relationships that you knew you should have been let go of long time ago. Long time ago. You can't be cussing, Ariel, but we know that's what you mean. That right there, let me know that you saying fuck it. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Past relationships. Fuck it. You got to get rid of those things, y'all. Y'all can't be taking that stuff into the new you, into the new relationship. You got to let go of that stuff. Anytime you bring in what happened over here into what's going on here, you got to let it go. Why you can't cuss be you in the time zone red? What you can't cuss from? Oh, is it YouTube? Fuck 'em. Nah, okay, we got another one. 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 Type it how you want to type it. Type your effort how you want it to be. It don't gotta be my effort. It could be whatever effort you want it to be. All right. Past pain. Y'all still holding on to those things that people said, those things that people did. You haven't decided to release it. You have to get to that point of release. Do you want to keep loving it, or do you want to let it go? It's up to you. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. Bad decisions. All those decisions that you made, whether albeit financial, whether it was a credit card, whether it was a car, whether it was taking people out on dates, spending money that you shouldn't have spent, bad financial decisions, let them go. It's time to move on. It's time to have a stronger bank account. That let it go. You gotta let it go. All that stuff that's hindering you, let it go. Let it go. And one time for blaming your parents. We have to get to that point where we have to accept that what they did, how they did it, was what they knew. It's so many people that are in therapy, in life coaching courses, because they still feel that the reason why they are where they are in their life is because of their parents. And they 43, 45 years old. We got to let it go. We got to let it go. All right. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in today, man. It's good being free. It's good being free, y'all. I promise y'all that self-preservation is a good form of realizing how much more control and relaxation you have over who you are. You got to be the person that decides that. It's on you. If you keep on allowing somebody else to make those choices and tell you how your day gonna go, how heavy your day should be, what you should be doing, how you should be doing it, where you gonna be traveling, how you spend your money, how you raise your kids, if you letting all that stuff be a form of what can break you, you have yet to gain control and a piece of freedom over your own lives. And that, my girls, you have to let go. All right. Y'all take the time to love on yourselves for the rest of this week and continuously. I will see y'all next Wednesday with a few more jewels. And as always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Thank you for joining the cast. Y'all have a wonderful Wednesday evening. Enjoy yourselves. Peace.